Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattva Bodho Vidhiyate. Okay, so this Atman series, I thought we would have this series just to gain more clarity on the knowledge that we're all seeking. So this is based on a text called Tattva Bodha. This text is by Adi Sankaracharya ji, and I am using the book from Chinmaya Mission. Looks something like this. It's by Swami Tejomayananda ji. And we're just going to cover it. The book it's a fantastic book, especially to those who really want clear ideas, clear definitions that are used in Vedanta. It's a fantastic text. This time I'll only cover a portion. I've been doing a satsang on Saturdays with the parents of Bal Vihar. So there is a podcast out there. But even better than that, I would say Swami Advayananda ji has a nice series on Tattva Bodha. So those who want to learn more, please check out his series. I think it will be very beneficial for everyone. Okay, so today, we're going to just do the introduction. And the main topic today will be Atman, the one that is different from three bodies. So before we start to get into this, why are we here and why are we doing this? We always have to come back to how this all relates to us or how this connects to us. Because otherwise, why study Vedanta? It can be an intellectual thrill because it is quite thrilling to study and it can be quite entertaining. But there's an even deeper reason why we are studying this. There's a direct connection between us and Vedanta, in that whatever we are seeking is something that Vedanta can provide. In any which way, you and I every day are seeking happiness. We are only seeking that. Everywhere we go, whether we go here, we go there, in the past or in the future, we are seeking happiness. Every time we're seeking happiness. In every object, in every situation, every person we interact with, we are seeking happiness. And we are also seeking this kind of happiness wherein we don't want to have to work for it. We don't want to have to work so hard to gain just bits of joy. We want it to come easy, right? And so that's why there are all these books like Get Rich Quick, how to learn a language in 20 days. We have all of these things because we love things easy. We want to get it quickly. So we want this happiness that's everywhere. Everywhere we go, we should have the experience of happiness. In every single time frame, whether the past, the future, the present, we should have this experience of happiness. In every interaction with every person, we should have this experience. And it should come to us pretty easily. And it should not depend on anything. Whether this person is there or not, I should be able to feel this happiness. So whether we are looking for, we may be looking for wealth, we may be looking for social status, we may be looking for a name, but underneath that, we're actually looking for happiness. We're not looking for money. We're looking for the happiness that money can provide. We're not looking for a social status. We're looking for the happiness that it provides. And if it stops providing that, we don't want it anymore. So we don't want that thing. We want happiness. We're not looking to start a family. We're looking for the happiness that a family can provide. And so understanding this, that our quest, our lifelong quest has been, is, and will always be happiness, then the next question is, are we looking in the right place? We have been looking for it outside of us all along. But what Vedanta is telling us is whatever you're searching is actually you. The happiness that's there all the time is I. I, that pure awareness, I'm there all the time. The happiness that's there in all places is I. I am all pervading. I'm everywhere. I, that pure awareness, is everywhere. The happiness that's in every circumstance, in every experience, in every object, that is I, pure awareness, that's consciousness. Because every experience happens in awareness. That happiness that is effortless is I. It's I. Effortlessly, I am who I am. I don't have to work hard to be who I am. So whatever we're seeking outside is already inside. And there's this wonderful story to illustrate this. There was this wise woman by the name of Rabia. And she was so fed up with the world and what everyone was doing. And so one day out in the streets, she starts searching for something. She just starts searching and searching for something. And everybody is wanting to help her because she's very wise and loving and kind and caring. They said, "What are you looking for?" She said, "Well, I'm looking for a needle." So she's looking for a needle in the streets. And they're like, "Okay, we'll help you find it. But it's such a small thing." She said, "No, but I want to find it." So everyone starts to help her to find this needle. And somebody just asks her, "Wait a second, where did you lose it?" She said, "Oh, well, I lost it inside my house." "Well, if you lost it inside your house, why are you looking for the needle out in the street?" Well, she said, "Well, because my house doesn't have electricity right now, so I thought I'd come out in the street and look for it." And everyone was just aghast at her. And she looked at them. She said, "Isn't this everyone's condition? We are going outside to look for something that's lost inside. We lost it inside. We lost a sense of it inside, but we're going outside to look for it." She said, "This is the condition of every single being. You're all laughing at me. You're laughing at the fact that I'm looking for this needle outside, which I lost in my home. But we're all looking for happiness outside, which we lost in ourselves." That's our condition. And so there is a direct connection between our search for happiness and what Vedanta provides. So Vedanta says that the reason we are looking outside for happiness is because we are ignorant of who we are. And the only thing that will remove that ignorance is knowledge of who we are. And so that is the quest that we are on. We are on this quest to find out who we really are so that we can access that abode of bliss. It's already there. It's already who we are. We are just denied access right now because of our ignorance. So, what is this abode of bliss inside of us? That abode of bliss is called the Atman. Atman. Atman literally means self, or it means I. So what is your real name? What is my real name? Our real name is Atman. Very nicely, one time in our Vedanta course, we went to Shivananda Ashram. And the Swamiji there, he sat us all down and he said, look, I want to tell you something. Your real name is Atman. And don't you ever forget it. People may call you whatever they call you. You may have been given all different names, but your name is Atman. Atman. And when you remember that, you will always be home. So Atman means I. So what now is this Atman, and how do we know what this Atman is? So in Tattva Bodha, if you are following me using the book, I'm on page 33. And what Adi Sankaracharya ji says is Tattva Vivekaha Kaha. Means, what is this inquiry into truth? How do we inquire into truth? The first thing is Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithya Iti. Atman is the only reality. The I is the only reality. Tadanyat, everything else is mithya. It's unreal or it's illusory. So now what is this Atman? So there are 4 indicators to Atman, and that's why we have 4 sessions. In each one, we will discuss one indicator. So let us see first the 4 indicators, and then we will explore one in detail. Atma kaha. What is Atman? Sthula sukshma karana sharirad vyatiriktaha. The first indicator is vyatiriktaha, different from the gross, subtle, and causal body. This is Atman. Second one is Panchakosha Atitaha San, that which is Atitaha, beyond the 5 sheaths. Panchakosha. Avasthatraya Sakshi. This is the third one. Sakshi, the witness of the 3 states. Avasthatraya. The fourth one now is Satchidananda Swarupa San, that which is existence, consciousness, bliss. Yat tishtati sa Atma, that which remains is Atma. So what is the self? Number 1, that which is other than the gross, subtle, and causal bodies. Number 2, beyond the 5 sheaths. Number 3, witness of the 3 states. Number 4, existence, consciousness, bliss. This is known as Atman. So today we will talk about Atman as it is different from the 3 bodies. Now, the process of Vedanta is to go from the known to the unknown. Right now, to us, Atman is unknown. To some of us, Atman is unknown. We might have never heard of such a thing, or it might be quite vague. We're not really clear about what Atman is. Therefore, Adi Sankaracharya ji takes us from the grossest level to the subtlest level so that we can come to Atman. So it's just like if we were to go to an unknown place, we have to first start from where we are and try to see how we're going to travel there and slowly make our way there. We can't just think about the destination right away. We have to see where we are and slowly go there towards it. So in the same way, our inquiry starts like that. We start from where we are and make our way to the self. So the first is what we call the gross body or sthula sharira. Okay, so I'll read this out and then I'll explain one by one. Sthula shariram kim panchikrita panchamahabhutaihi kritam satkarmajanyam sukhadukhadi bhogayatanam shariram asti jayate vardhate viparinamate apakshiyate vinashyati iti shadvikaravat etat sthula shariram. So now he's going into detail of each body, not because he wants to do a very exhaustive study of it, but for us to be very clear that this is the gross body and this is not me. This is the message that we have to get. This is the gross body, this is not me. This is the subtle body, this is not me. This is the causal body, this is not me. So gross body. It's called gross, sthula. Why? Because it's manifest to our senses. We can experience, we can perceive it with our senses. So what is the gross body? This, what you see here. This is the gross body. We can perceive it with our senses. We can see it, hear it, smell it. We can do all kinds of things. It is called sharira. Sharira means body. But what does body mean? Shiryamanatvat sharira. That which decays is called the body. So what is the definition of body? The definition of body is it decays. So if our body is decaying, then that's what the definition is. So don't worry too much about it. That's what it's meant to do. Now, what is this body made of? Panchikrita panchamahabhuta. Panchamahabhuta means 5 elements. It's made of the 5 grossified elements. So space, air, fire, water, earth. This is what our body is made of. And this directly you can see, and I can see. The body has space in it, right? There's space for things to move. There's definitely air, and we breathe air. There's air in our body. And there's definitely fire, our digestive fire. And there's water. And of course, there's earth. There's a lot of earth here in the body. So this body is made of the 5 grossified elements. This is what we call the upadana karana, or the material cause for the body. Then we come to nimitta karana. Nimitta karana means efficient cause, that which forms the shape of the body. How come I have this kind of body and you have that kind of body? And they have those kinds of bodies. She has that kind of body. Why does everybody have a certain type of shape or form to their body? What is the efficient cause, or that which shapes the body? That cause is called our prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma means the results of our past actions. So the results of our past actions, they determine what way our body is formed. Prarabdha karma also determines our ayu, our lifespan, our bhoga, our enjoyments in this world. So this is prarabdha karma, due to prarabdha karma. Now, how did so this word sat karma janyam, it means this is the efficient cause. This efficient cause is through prarabdha karma. What is the function of this body? The function of this body is sukha dukkhadi bhogayatanam. Bhoga ayatanam. It's a counter for bhoga in this context means experience. It's a counter for experiencing the world. It's a counter. So it is like if somebody wants to meet me, where will they come? They will come to this body, right? They will have to come to this body. It's just a counter. Like there's a movie counter, When you go to buy movie tickets, there's a counter. There's a counter in the bank, and there's a place where you can approach the teller. That's a counter. In the restaurant, there's the space there, the table where you can approach the person behind the counter. So this body is a counter. It's where people come to approach us. And as it is called Sharira, I had explained that. What is the dharma of this body? What are the modifications of this body? So there are 6 modifications of the body. One is called asti. Asti means it is. So when the fetus is in the womb of the mother, it is, right? Then jayate, it is born. So first the body is as a fetus, and then it's born. And then what happens is vardhate, it grows. So slowly the body grows. It grows taller, we gain weight. And then what happens? Viparinamate, it matures. Body matures. So for men, their voice cracks, right? And then there's a particular age where they totally shoot up, right? And for the women also, there's a particular age where they totally shoot up. And they become very mature. So viparinamate. And then after that, apakshiyate, the body starts to decay. It starts to decay, it starts to wither, our hair turns gray, we get wrinkles, we become slower, it takes longer to heal when something happens, digestion is very slow, and then vinashyati, the body dies. So the body is, and what happens is it's born, it grows, it matures, it decays, and it dies. Shad vikara, but it has these 6 vikaras. So there's no need to question why my body's going through what it's going through. That's the body. That's what it's supposed to do. So let it do its thing. Etat, this is the gross body. So when we say etat, means it's an object of my awareness. This, I am aware of it. This is the body. So now that we're very clear about the body, about what it is, what causes it, right? The 5 elements in our prarabdha karma, that it's a counter for experience, that it has 6 modifications, and that this body is an object of our experience. So 3 questions now we have to ask ourselves. The body is changing. It's changing. But amidst all of the changes, isn't there a changeless seer? Isn't there a changeless one? So the body would have gone through so many changes when we were very young. Maybe we were very small and thin, and then we had small hands and small feet, and we could barely walk. And then slowly we grew up, and then we had to get different kinds of clothes, different sets of everything because we grew. And then slowly we became older. So our body has gone through so many changes, but weren't we aware of all of the changes of the body? So amidst the changes of the body, there was, or there is, there always has been a changeless presence that's ever aware of all of the changes in the body. If we say we are the body, then which body are we? Are we the little girl body or little boy body, or the big girl body or the big boy body? Which body are we? Right? So the body is changing, but yet there's a changeless presence in which all of these changes take place. Second question is, the body is seen, isn't it? and yet I am the seer. So the body is known, I am the knower. So if I am aware of the body, I cannot be the body, right? So I am aware of this book. I am aware of this book. So I can't be this book. I have to be apart from it because I'm aware of it. So in the same way, I'm aware of this body means that I'm different from this body. And the third question is now, I am aware of this body, but is this body aware of me? It's not, right? I'm aware of it, but it's not aware of me. So we take this body is changing in so many ways, yet the self is changeless. This body is seen, it's observed, it's known, and yet the self is the seer. This body is an object, it's an object of my awareness, and I am pure awareness. So therefore, this body cannot be me. This body, then, sthula sharira, or gross body, is not me. Now, the implications of this are really, really deep, because imagine if we all were really convinced and really truly understood that we were not the body, how many problems would be solved? There's so many issues on race. The feeling that one race is superior to the other race. So many issues regarding gender. The feeling that this gender is okay and this is not okay, and this gender is superior and this is not. There's so many issues of insecurity of the body, where we don't like the way we look and we keep comparing ourselves to other people. And this is especially prevalent in young teens, where they become very, very conscious of the way they look. And if they're not happy with it, it can even cause depression. And then there's also that issue of how much people pamper the body, how much time is spent alone in the body, in pursuit of the body. In Jivan Mukti Viveka, it says the one who spends so much time in their body is as good as the person in Naraka, in hell. That's all they're doing. They're in hell only. Because they're spending so much time, so much attention, just pampering this body, making it beautiful, making it this and making it that, when it's just a body. It's just a body. So if we truly understood that we're not the body, how beautiful would our lives be? So simple, so carefree, and most of all, so accepting of everybody else, because we are not the color of our skin or the way our body looks. We're much deeper than that. And so the purpose then of the body becomes very clear. The body's purpose is to serve others and to realize the truth. There's no other purpose for the body. That's why when we chant Brahmarpana, what are we saying really to Bhagavan is, let me recognize that you are in every single being, that you are the only goal of life. And by eating this food, may I be fit to pursue that goal. By eating this food, may I be fit to pursue the goal. So everything becomes clear. The body's there to serve, the body's there to realize the truth. The body's there to do our dharma, and nothing else. It's not made to show off or to over pamper it or to make it all glamorous. It's not meant for that. The body is meant to go beyond the body. And when one is so rooted in the fact that we are not the body, then when death comes, then one will be ever ready to face it. Because Who dies? Swami Tejomayananda ji, Gurudev, has a beautiful saying. He says, every body dies, but nobody dies. In the sense that this body will have to die, but the pure Atman will never die. So just by even this understanding, so much peace will fill our lives. What to talk of understanding that we are Atman. So this is the gross body. Atman is different from this. Self is different from this. Now we go to the second body. Okay, second body is called Sukshma Sharira. Okay. So I'll read the description and then I will elaborate. Sukshma Shariram Kim Apanchikrita Pancha Mahabhutaihi Kritam Satkarmajanyam Sukha Dukhadi Bhoga Sadhanam Pancha Jnanendriyani Pancha Karmendriyani Pancha Pranadriha Manaschaikam Buddhishchaika Evam Saptadasha Kalabhi Saha Yattishtati Tat Sukshma Shariram. Sukshma Sharira. This is the subtle body. It's called subtle because it shuttles. That's what Swamiji says. It shuttles from body to body. It's called subtle because we cannot perceive it with our senses. So that's what subtle means. Sukshma, subtle body. And Sharira means same as before, that which decays. What is the material cause of this? Or what we call upadana karana, the subtle 5 elements. So subtle 5 elements, space, air, fire, water, earth. The subtle 5 elements are the cause of this sukshma sharira or subtle body. What is the nimitta karana or efficient cause? Sat karma janyam. So why is it that we have a human mind, not an animal mind? That is because of our karma. So again, that the fact that we have a human mind, a human intellect, the fact that we have all of this, the cause of that is our karma. And what is the function of this subtle body? Sukha Dukha Bhogadi Sadhanam. So this is now the instrument of experience. So when we say subtle body, the components are coming, but I want you to think of the mind for now. The gross body is the counter. The subtle body is really the instrument. So what we experience life with is really our mind. So you may bring the most amazing food in front of me, in front of this counter, which is the gross body, but I won't experience it until my mind interacts with it. I may put it in my mouth. But if my mind is so busy doing something else, I might not even taste it. It might be the most amazing thing, but if the mind is busy with something else, I won't taste it. Or if the mind is in a bad mood, I won't even realize what it is. I won't even know what I'm eating. But if the mind is very much present, then I will savor each bite. So the gross body is the counter. It's where people bring things to us. But the mind is really the one that experiences. So outside, people may bring all joy to us. People may be laughing with us, joking around with us, smiling. But inside, if the mind is so sad and depressed, we won't experience that joy. And on the flip side, on the outside, if it's very, very sad and everybody's depressed and hurt, but in the mind, if I am so happy and peaceful, then that's what I'll experience. So the instrument of experience is our mind. So actually, we don't live where our bodies live. We live where our minds live. So you can be anywhere you are, But what really matters is, where is your mind right now? If your mind is in peace, then you are at peace. If your mind is in turmoil, then you are in turmoil, right? Then I am in turmoil. So this mind is the sadhana. It's the instrument with which we experience the world. And that's why sadhana here means instrument. Sadhana means also spiritual practice or means. That's why a lot of spiritual practices are done to purify the mind, to tame the mind, because it is the experiencer of the world. What is this subtle body now? What forms it? How is it formed? So here, there are 17 components. It's called Saptadasha Kala, 17 components. The first one is the 5 Pancha Jnanendriyas. Okay, Jnanendriyas are faculties of knowledge or faculties of perception. So what are they? The faculty of seeing, of hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. Why am I using the term faculties? Because we are now in the subtle body. So this I is not in the subtle body. This I is the gross. It's a part of the gross body. What is in the subtle body is the faculty of seeing. So the faculty of hearing, the faculty of smelling, of tasting, of touching, those are in the subtle body. So my faculty of seeing may be there, but if there's something wrong with my eye, then I won't be able to see. But that's not to say I don't have the faculty. I have the faculty, but there was something wrong with my eye. Or if my nose is blocked because of a cold, then it doesn't mean that I don't have the faculty of smelling. I may have the faculty of smelling, but my nose is blocked. So I cannot smell. Same way, if touch, I have the faculty of touch, but if my hands turn numb, then I'm not able to express that faculty. I still have it, but I cannot express it. So these subtle faculties, they're in the subtle body. There are 5, what we call Jnanendriyas, so faculties of knowledge. These are the ones through which we experience the world. We get input from the world. Then we have Panchakarmendriyani, the 5 faculties of action. So again, there's 5, and these 5 are not the gross things, they're the subtle. So what are they? The faculty of speech, faculty of grasping, faculty of locomotion, faculty of reproduction, faculty of excretion. So again, when we say faculty of speech, it's not the throat per se, but it's that faculty. And that faculty is there. It's always there. But when my throat is numb or sore, it can't express. Same with the faculty of grasping, right? It's there, but if the hands, if there's paralysis, it cannot express. So these are subtle faculties of speech, grasping, locomotion, reproduction, excretion. And this, it's called faculty of action, because this is how we respond to the world. We respond through our speech, through grasping, etc. So faculties of knowledge are those by which we take in the world. Faculties of action are those by which we respond to the world. Then we have Panchaprana. Panchaprana means the 5, these are physiological functions. Physiological functions that govern different things in our body. So they will come again in the 5 koshas, but I'll also talk a little bit about it here so that we understand what these pranas are. They're loosely translated as vital airs. vital airs. But what they really are is that they are these vital airs, these physiological functions that govern different processes in our body. So if you take first, when we eat something, then digestion has to happen. So that prana that governs digestion is called samana, right? Then when we are digesting food, obviously some of them will circulate through the body and nourish us. So that prana, which is responsible for circulation, that is called vyana. Then when we eat, some things need to be rejected by the body. And so that prana that governs the excretion, right? That process is called apana. That prana is called apana. And sometimes, when we eat something, all of a sudden we have to spit it out, right? We have to spit it out. That prana is called udana. So it facilitates reverse processes. Sometimes when we eat something, it gets stuck somewhere and we have to spit it out. Or sometimes when we drink something and something went up our nose and we have to sneeze it. Or sometimes some dust goes in our eye and we have to cry it out. That prana that governs these reverse processes are called udana. And then we have that prana that's responsible, that governs our respiration, inhalation and exhalation. That's called prana. So you'll see prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, right? And it is with this that we do the puja. Pranaya swaha, apanaya swaha, dhyanaya swaha, udanaya swaha, samanaya swaha. Okay? That's how we feed Bhagavan in puja. So these pranas, the interesting thing with them is that they all have the root verb an. An means to go. So prana means that which goes up. So inhalation, exhalation, right? Prana. Apana, up, means that which goes down. So excretion. Vyana, that V says that which pervades. So that which pervades, vyana, that governs circulation. Udana, ana. Ut means to go up all of a sudden. So that's udana, that prana that goes up, throws up all of a sudden. And then, of course, we have what we call samana. Sam means to make everything even. So that's responsible for digestion. Samana, making everything even. So these are the pranas. And udana is also responsible for when the subtle body leaves the gross body. That udana prana, that's also responsible for that. So now we have 5 faculties of knowledge, 5 faculties of action, and the 5 pranas. And then we have manaha. Manaha means our mind, and buddhi, intellect. Here I'll just give a brief description, but more elaboration for mind and intellect we will see in the koshas, in the sheaths. Mind is that seat of doubt, and it's also the seat of emotions. So it is that thought, that kind of thought which takes the form of doubt. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I go here? Should I go there? That is called mind. That kind of thought which is emotional in nature. Joy, sorrow, care, distress, peace, disturbance, that is all mind. Intellect is the thought that is of the nature of determined or decisive thoughts. So when the mind says, should I go here or there? Go here. That ego here is the intellect, one that's very decisive. So the intellect are these decisive thoughts, also very rational, objective, logical thoughts. So mind is the one that is seat of doubt and emotion. Intellect is the seat of decisive thinking, logical thinking, rationality. There are also two other components. They're not mentioned here, but they should be understood here. That is what we call memory or chitta and ahankar or the ego. So in this case, the memory would be clubbed with the mind and the ego or the ahankar would be clubbed with the intellect. Memory clubbed with the mind because the mind is kind of vague and memory is also very vague. Sometimes we remember, sometimes we don't remember. And the ego is a very decisive thing. Once it takes ownership, it really takes ownership. So in this way, this whole conglomerate of 17 things that forms the subtle body. And it's also called Linga Sharira. Linga means indicator because it's the indicator of life. When the subtle body leaves the gross body, that process is called death. So as long as the subtle body is there in the gross body, there is life. And when it leaves, it is death. It's called death. Now, why are we taking so much pains to analyze this subtle body? What is the main message? I am not this subtle body. I am not this subtle body. So now just take your mind for a moment. How many times does our mind change? How many times? So many times, right? In the past 5 minutes, how many times has your mind thought structure changed? Which thought structure are you? Are you the happy thought, the sad thought, the hungry thought, the tired thought, the energetic thought? Which one? There's so many changing thoughts, but yet I, the self, am that changeless presence in which all the changing thoughts are parading. So I am the changeless presence and all changing thoughts, they keep parading one after the other, one after the other. They are taking place in me, in that awareness. So I am changeless. My thoughts are changing. I am the seer and my thoughts are seen, right? A seer and seen are different. I am the seer, my thoughts are seen. I am aware of my thoughts. Everyone's aware of their thoughts, right? But is their thought aware of them? I am aware of happiness, but is happiness aware of me? I am aware of sadness, but is sadness aware of me? No. Therefore, I am different from these thoughts. These thoughts may come and go. They have arrival and departure. They will come, they will go. They keep changing. They are an object of my experience. They are an object of my awareness. And therefore, they are different from me. They are not me. Not only is the happy thought not me, but even the I am happy thought, that's also not me. That's the ego. The ego is the one that owns up. I am happy or I am sad. So even that thought that I am happy, that's also not me. The thought that I am a man, I am a woman, I am this, I am that, that is also not me. All of them are being illumined by pure awareness. Now, what are the implications of this? This gives us a lot of freedom. Because how many times does the mind go up and down every day? It gets disturbed, it gets anxious, It gets stressed out, it gets worried, sometimes it gets happy. It feels all sorts of thrills and emotions. What do we do about it? Detach from the mind and remain as you are. Set yourself apart from that thought. Watch that thought. This is the thought, it's coming through the mind. Be apart from that thought. It is a thought after all. This thought is coming, stay away from it, stay apart from it. Another thought is coming, stay apart from it. Remain as a witness to this thought. And let the thought come and go. The more we feed the thoughts, the more they stay. Thoughts are like guests. You know, when guests come to your house, what happens? If you don't feed them, they go right away. But if you feed them, if you say, oh, come, okay, have this appetizer. And then after that, you bring them another thing. No, you must eat this because I made this. I just made it today and you must try it. It's so good. And this mithai, I brought it from India. You must have it. It's really, really good. And the more you feed that guest, the more the guest will stay with you. And will stay with you. And the guest will keep coming back also because you keep feeding the guest happily, right? So in the same way, our thoughts are like that. When we keep feeding our thoughts, feeding them attention, they'll keep coming back. So one way of handling thoughts is starve them. Starve them from your attention. Starve them from your attention. Withdraw your attention and remain as you are. And when you starve your attention away from them, they have no power. Thoughts have no power. Thoughts only gain power when we feed them. When we keep feeding them, they gain power. So this awareness that I am different from my mind is such a relief. It's such a relief because the mind goes up and down in all kinds of ways and places and forms and shapes. Now, of course, who can do this? The one who has a sattvic mind. And therefore, before even this section in Tattva Bodha is sadhana chatushtaya, all those qualities we have to prepare for, we have to actually cultivate before doing such an inquiry. So therefore, I am not the mind. Now, a question can come, which I also shared in the Bhagavad Gita class on Monday. A question can come is, can I half-half? Can I disidentify with the mind when it's sad, but identify with it when it's happy? Can I do only half-half, right? So when it's sad, I want to just I'm not the mind. But when there's a happy circumstance, I am the mind and I want to experience this. Life doesn't work like that. Because have you ever tried it? Let's say you're watching a soccer match. It's the World Cup, right? And your favorite team is playing and they just scored a goal. You're oh so happy and you're feeling that happiness. Now, when the opponent scores even more goals, is it possible not to be sad? Oh, we will be sad. So that because we identified so much with that happiness that our team is winning. When our team loses, we will identify so much with that sadness. So there's no half-half identification in Vedanta. Either all out you identify or totally disidentify. And the most peace we will get when we disidentify. People have this crazy idea that happiness means that you should always be smiling and laughing and cheerful. Actually, happiness it's shanti. It's peace only. It's peace. That's what we get when we are free from our own mind. So therefore, I am not this sukshma sharira. I am not this subtle body. Now, what's the next one? The third body now is Karana Sharira. So I'll read this and then I'll explain. Karana Shariram Kim. Anirvachya Anadi Avidya Rupam Sharira Dvaisya Karana Matram Satswarupa Jnanam Nirvikalpaka Rupam Yadasti Tat Karana Shariram. Karana Sharira. Why is it called Karana? Karana means cause. That's why it's called cause. It's causal body, not casual body, causal body. So we will start with this word, avidya rupa. This causal body is nothing but ignorance. This causal body is ignorance. And this ignorance is sharira dvayasya karana matra. It is the cause of the other two bodies. So now let's just think back for a moment. It was said in Tattva Bodha that why we have the body that we have, the gross body that we have, or the subtle body that we have, why we have this kind of shape, this kind of body, is because of our prarabdha karma, right? Now, what is the connection between ignorance and karma? What's the connection? So here's where we kind of have to take these steps backwards. Prarabdha karma means the results of our past actions. Why did we get those results? Because we acted, actions. Why do we act? Why do we act in the first place? Why do we do anything we do? It's because of desire. Otherwise, we wouldn't act. I want to learn, therefore, I am attending this class. I want to relax, therefore, I am going to sleep. I want to satisfy my hunger, therefore, I'm going to eat. So every action is backed by a desire. Now, are all desires bad? Not really, but it's just this desire for completeness. It's that I want to seek, I want to be so rich and so with so much social status and symbol, etc., because I want to feel complete. I want to feel joy. I want to expand my business by this much because I want to feel complete. I want to feel joy. This kind of desire that arises out of our incompleteness, that is the kind of desire which we should not pursue, right? When one has knowledge, then they don't pursue that anymore. So these desires, they come from ignorance. So because we are ignorant of our real nature, Sat Swarupa Ajnanam, we are ignorant of who we are. We don't know that we are already Atma. We are already complete. We are already the abode of bliss. We don't know we are that. We start desiring the world. We start desiring the world and striving to fulfill ourselves through the world. Just striving to do this and that and all kinds of things to make ourselves feel whole and full. And because of that, we act. Because of our desires, we act. And when we act, we get results. And those results are in the form of a gross body and a subtle body. Because some results we cannot experience in this birth. Some results we have to experience in another birth and another birth. So therefore, this Karana Sharira is really the cause. It's the cause of the other two bodies because it is ignorance. It is ignorance of our own true self. And this is precisely what we are trying to remove. That is all that we're trying to do in Vedanta. Trying to remove this ignorance so that we understand who we truly are. Now, a question may come. When we realize who we truly are, does that mean we don't desire, we don't act in the world? It means that if we desire such things in the world, or if we act in the world, it's not because we want to be complete. It's out of our own completion. It's a It's an expression of our fulfillment. This is in knowledge. But in ignorance, when we desire and we act, we are doing it because we want to feel fulfilled. We want to feel complete. And we're so deluded because we still haven't gotten that completion or fulfillment from the world, and yet we keep trying to find it there. Like the example that I gave you, that we keep looking for things outside that are already there inside. It's as if this happiness that's inside of us, we relinquish it and take it out, and we start to seek it outside, unnecessary. So this is Karana Sharira. And when did this come? When did this ignorance come? Because I want to know how it came. It is said, Anadi. Anadi means ignorance is beginningless. It's beginningless. What do you mean beginningless? Well, any ignorance is beginningless. If I ask you, since when were you ignorant of the Japanese language? We don't know, right? Since when were you ignorant of the German language? We don't know. So any ignorance is actually beginningless. If ignorance started at a certain point of time, let's say, then what other than ignorance could be there, right? So before it, let's say if ignorance did have a starting point, before ignorance, what would be there? Nothing, right? Or that which is opposed to ignorance, which is knowledge. But if knowledge was there before ignorance, right? Ignorance cannot come out of knowledge. If nothing was there before ignorance, ignorance cannot come out of nothing. So therefore, even logically, when we look at it, ignorance is anadi or beginningless, right? Some might ask, did the ignorance of the language start at my birth? How do we know, right? It could be the previous birth also. We cannot tell, right? Since when were we ignorant of a certain language? It could be in the previous birth also. How are we certain that it was in this birth itself? So this is ignorance, anadi. Can we describe this ignorance? It says anirvachya. Anirvachya means you cannot explain it as sat. We cannot say that this ignorance is absolutely real, because what's absolutely real is always there. It's always there throughout all periods of time. But this ignorance, even if it's beginningless, it comes to an end. So it's not absolutely real. It's not sat. But it's also not asat. It's not absolutely unreal. Like the famous example they give is the horns on a rabbit that's here, which obviously is not here, but it's an imagination, right? It's not absolutely unreal, right? Like if I tell you that there's a rabbit here, it's absolutely unreal. You're not seeing it. You're not experiencing it. So it's not absolutely unreal because we experience it. We experience it. So it's not sat. It's not asat. It's not absolutely real, or it's not absolutely unreal. So therefore we say it is anirvachya. It's inexplicable. It's inexplicable because although it's beginningless, it has an end. And although it is just an appearance, it is experienceable. So it's not absolutely real, but we can experience it. We can experience it. And so this is avidya. And also, what is its shape? What is its size? What is its form? Nirvikalpaka rupa. It means it's homogeneous. It's one homogeneous mass. It doesn't have a shape or a size or form. It's just one mass of ignorance. And so it doesn't have any such quality that we can describe it with. no color, no size. So therefore, we cannot describe this ignorance. We can only say it's anirvachya, inexplicable. So therefore, what is this ignorance? Now, if we put it all together, what is this ignorance, right? This ignorance is avidya rupam. It's a form of ignorance, which is satswarupa ajnanam, the ignorance of our true self, right? Sharira dvayasya karana matra. It's the cause of our two other bodies, because ignorance, desire, action, results of action, which is our bodies, our gross and subtle bodies. When did it begin? Anadi, beginningless. Somebody made a comment here that it could have started with Maya. Actually, avidya or ignorance is the vyashti form of Maya. So avidya and Maya are really the same things, except Maya is from a total standpoint and avidya is from an individual standpoint. So we beginningless, anadi. Can we describe it? Anirvachya. It is not absolutely real because it can be negated. It comes to an end. It is not absolutely unreal because we can experience it. And therefore, sometimes it's called mithya or illusion. And another thing is, what is its shape, size, or form? Nirvikalpa. It has no form, shape, size whatsoever. It's one homogeneous mass. And this is what we call karana sharira. Now a question may come now, what about vasanas, right? So vasanas, some texts put vasanas in the subtle body, but here with Swami Tejomayananda, with whom I've studied this text, Karana Sharira, he explained, is the vasanas are in Karana Sharira. So vasanas are also in Karana Sharira. They're the unmanifest desires, unmanifest wants, likes, dislikes. All of this lie in the Karana Sharira. Now, what's the most important thing here? That I am not this causal body. I am not this causal body. Even the thought, I am ignorant. The thought, I am ignorant, that's illumined by my awareness, right? This ignorance changes. At one point, I may be ignorant. At one point, I may know. I may have knowledge. So this ignorance changes, but yet I am changeless. I, the consciousness, am the seer. This ignorance is seen. It's illumined by me. I am aware of this ignorance, but this ignorance is not aware of me. So this ignorance, even the thought that I am ignorant, even that thought, I am ignorant, actually means I am awareness. It actually means I am awareness if you really think about it, because only in the light of awareness can I even say I am ignorant. So therefore, I am not this causal body. So what is this Atma? This Atma is not the gross body, not the subtle body, not the causal body, that which is different from that. So this is the first distinction that we made today. The next few classes, we will have the next distinctions. So in the next class will be now the Atman, which is the witness of the three states. Then after that, we will take up that which is beyond the 5 sheaths. And then we will go into the nature of this Atman. Okay? So for now, I will say the closing prayer. I'll pause. Then we will take any questions, whatever questions there are, we will take that from all the students here. And then we will conclude with a short meditation. Yeah. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.